Now, thanks for staying with us. Now, according to this day, the presence of nepotism in Nigeria has taken a toll on our development. How can new thinking, worthwhile policies and development occur when those appointed are there to defend tribal interests rather than those of the majority? In a country where ethno-religious considerations, zoning and federal characters are deemed more important than talent, how can we be surprised rather that nepotism and ethnic competitions are rampant and things seem to remain the way they are? Where being a relative of a or a politician rather comes with advantages, where close relatives of politicians are likely to be employed in the public or even private sector and earn higher salaries, while those that are suitable and best for the position are ignored. We are all guilty of favoring people we know or are related to, or at some point, right? All of us were all guilty of that. You know, people that we know and we favor them. So we're asking if Nigerians, you know, today we're asking, can we rise above nepotism? That's a question. Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also tweet at us at WaysHowAfrica1 with the hashtag WaysShow. I think we had a video. I don't know if they have that video. The late MK Abiola, when he was talking, I mean, it was a video that went round during during Democracy Day, when he was saying that, you know, he would hire based on competence, never about, you know, where you're from or what tribe you're in. And again, juxtapose that to a video that Father Kuka was accusing the president of nepotism and all of that. So I'm just wondering, you know, yeah, nepotism is here, and I don't think, you know, I don't think is going anywhere anytime soon. But like the quote, I like that quote, a little nepotism does not hurt, you know. But let me take the video quickly, then we'll come back to the conversation.
As president, it's none of my business what religious color anybody wears. In ITT, in Concord, in RCN, in Summit Oil, in the bakeries, in the bookshop, in the presses, and so we employ people purely on merit, round pegs in round holes, period. There are so many people who work for me whose hometown I don't even know. I don't even know them anyway. I don't have to know them. Because we want to be objective.
The percentage of those who want this country to sink, probably less than 5% or 3%. So over 90% of ordinary Nigerians just want to be left to do. They are not. I think we have oversubscribed in terms of what government has the capacity to do. Because beyond electing a man from your village, after the election, you won't see him again. So, and there is nothing to suggest that the people from the president's town are necessarily benefiting more than other people, except of recent, where some people have on their own carried projects to Daura. And I'm not sure that the president himself necessarily asked them to do that. But short of that, we're still struggling to get to Mina. Mina has given us 2 former heads of state. If you go to Jonathan's hometown, it's not as if you can drive with your eyes closed. Okay, if you go to, I've been to Shagari, where President Shagari came from. And I've not been to Obasanjo's hometown, but when I met Obasanjo first time, he was talking to me, he said to me, I swear, I'm sure your village is better than my own. But things may have changed now. But I'm just saying that let's look for the government to create a space that all of us can flower in. Because government can never employ everybody.
As president, it's not...
Okay, so... two different people do 2 different perspectives saying the same thing, you know, but just in different, I think this is across 30 years, across 3 decades. But let me hear your thoughts on nepotism, because whenever I look at the Nigerian system, right, it's almost really difficult for you to see some level of progress, because for every single time that we think to get the man for the job, right, I mean, the elections are around the corner, we're already hearing what people are saying, you know, and all of that. And it seems like this thing is here to stay, is never going to go away, you know. But I always believe that there's always a solution. Can we find, right, a middle ground where you can do what you need to do, but at the same time, you also ensure that, you know, we're getting things done right, you know. So that's where the conversation, you know, is stemming from. If we truly can, you know, yes, there's nepotism, can we rise above this and start to actually find the right people, square pegs and square holes, like that kind of situation, to move the nation forward? Is that possible?
Okay, so let me try and set the scene with some numbers. Nepotism is not new, and it's not a Nigerian concept, but it is, in my opinion, we've taken it beyond. And in fact, if you have 100%, right? And the survey says that in 2019, 44% of the respondents of that survey who got a job in the public sector in 2019 paid bribes. 32% got it based on nepotism. 44 plus 32 is what, 76.
So bribe was 30.
Bribe was 44.
44%.
Nepotism was 32%.
Nepotism was 32%.
Which leaves us with a meager 24%, less than a quarter of the people who we can assume just by elimination will say, okay, maybe got it on competence. That's a clear picture of, for me, why we are where we are today. Public sector is a good mirror of where things don't work. And things can work in the public sector. I know we talk about it, but we've seen some states distinguish themselves, so it's not impossible. But if I borrow the words of the late MKO there, if you don't put square pegs in square holes and round pegs in round holes, what you get is just a full ship of people and nobody's steering the ship and the ship is not going anywhere. So I think the public sector is a good sample to use. In certain industries, it's just one tribe. A lot of the federal parastatals and all of that, it just feels like it's one tribe. So even when I think of it, that I say, okay, maybe a little bit of nepotism is not bad. It will add to the diversity and inclusion, because in some places when it's completely skewed, perhaps nepotism or bribery is the only way you can get in. But the bigger problem for us is, I don't think that we can rise above it. One, because we are not programmed on merit. So even in the corporate sector, nepotism exists. But it is whether we now see it as detrimental to us as a nation in terms of, okay, how do we move forward? We all keep saying we want change, you go and get your PVC, Nigeria has to change. But if we don't address key issues like this, where people are in there, and whether they're capable or not, I was reading something today that was a claim that somebody else one of the other aspirants won the primary, but it was handed to somebody else. And I'm thinking, how did we get here? So we have a lot of factors. Nepotism shouldn't be one of our problems, because it's not a new concept and it's not going anywhere. But we've overdone it. And that's where it's now become a hindrance for us.
Absolutely. NJ, let me hear your thoughts on this.
I would go, I'll take up from where it's not, I don't think it's something that started today. But, and like she rightfully said, I don't think it's something that is ever going away, because we don't believe in merit. We don't believe people merit anything, and it goes beyond even politics. We're just not programmed like that. You don't believe anybody has to work that hard in order to get that. So most of the time is mostly, who do you know? How do I get there? And even when you get there, you're trying to put your own people as like your, base, so that at the end of the day, when you ask about something or you want something, they're not going to ask you questions because you put them there. So everyone is building, everyone is trying to build this, this big house. But the thing is that if you're building without good foundation, at the end of the day, it's going to crumble when the wind blows. So that's where we are in Nigeria now, where this thing has even gone past, even like if we don't start to retrace our steps, it's going to go beyond what you and I can see now. Like,
absolutely.
I don't know how bad it can go, but it's going to go.
I was going to come back to that Uti's question, that is it detrimental to us as a nation? But let me hear your initial thoughts on this, because we need to also understand the consequences of why it has to stop. Yeah, go ahead, Noma.
I'm going to play a little bit of the devil's advocate here, because there are also instances where nepotism has been
Served
favorable
us.
where there are competent hands. You know, when you come into some level of position, you want to surround yourself with people who you can trust, right? You will, first of all, and this is natural, it's not, I like when Uti started, it's not something that is new to just Nigeria, right? It's done everywhere in the world. We have people, leaders who will come in and they would also bring in
Your tribe.
their tribe, right? Because you want people who can help you look good with whatever you want to do or what you want to be able to accomplish, right? So yes, there have been instances where it has worked, where people who are competent can help you actually accomplish goals and your dreams. However, like we always do in Nigeria, anything we learn, we overlearn, so to speak. So we find countless times where people have had the opportunity to engage in nepotism, to actually bring in people that are incompetent, people who have nothing to offer. And at the end of the day, you have a worse situation we have a worse situation on our hands. Of course, this government has been accused on so many levels about nepotism because some of the areas in our nation feel that they have been marginalized on so many across board, whether it's in the economy, whether it's in governance, whether it's in the cabinet and all of that. So it can be, well, I would want to say it can be good when the basis for which you are engaging in nepotism has competence at the core before anything else.
No.
Because, yes.
You know they work that way.
No.
Well, because
No.
guess what? The whole idea of nepotism is that, you know, regardless whether the person is competent or not, as long as say the person is my person, I put the person in the position, right? So there's no how.
You can put the person in the right position.
You
well,
can, because
that best
guess
suits
what?
the
What
person.
is nepotism? Nepotism is favoritism. You are favoring people against others, right? Yes. I'm not saying that it is good only when it is, I mean, there should be a balance. If you're favoring people because you actually want people that will help you look good, it's not a bad thing. If you know that they're up to the job and they have the competence, they have what it takes, the principles and all of that, you can bring it. There's nothing wrong in bringing in the people that you know and you want to favor. But it's not done to the detriment of the majority, right? Where it's now a monopoly of all of your people and then other people do not have a say. That's where I have a problem with it.
So they says nepotism is the bedrock of social existence. This was a quote by Adam Bello. So if they say that it is the bedrock, tell me how.
No, that's what
I
you
mean,
know.
Norma has said it right. If you go in somewhere, you want people that you can trust, right? You build your team around you. Now, ideally, you should build that team with
Competence at the back of the
competent
mind.
people. But I even want to go, for me, it's like from a Genesis point of view, where did we start to get it wrong? Because it's not a new concept. It's as old as time itself. You see people put their friends in office because I need somebody who I can trust. I need somebody who can tell me the truth. It may not even necessarily be about competence, but somebody that just keeps you grounded. I think that for me, Nigeria, where did we start to get it wrong? The first thing that comes to mind for me is the concept of federal character. Because we started off meaning well, right? It was our own version of diversity and inclusion. We wanted all tribes, all ethnicities, all languages to be covered. So somewhere in the Constitution, 1979, I believe, somewhere there, it got inserted. And then somehow we've abused it. And like Norma said, when we learn something, we take it to the hilt. So what we created for good, a phrase for me that I think best represents the most negative part of nepotism in Nigeria. When it's working for you, you say it's opportunity. When it's not working for you, you say it's corruption. So the truth is, if we all tell the truth sitting around this table, one way or the other, you don't benefit from nepotism, tell the truth, huh?
So see, I saw this quote somewhere and I would like us to take it because I like to open our phone lines. It says nepotism is the lowest and the least imaginative form of corruption. It's the lowest but the least imaginative form of corruption. Nepotism can get you very far in the world if you've got the right connection. So I still cannot associate nepotism and any form of good, say even if the person is competent, right? But let me take a break. We have to open our phone line. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Now, thanks for staying with us. If you just tuned in, it's our Ladies' Night Out, and we're asking, can Nigerians rise above nepotism? Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. You can also tweet us at WayShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow. Our phone line is now open. The number to call is 07025 007749. Please remember to turn off the volume of your television set while you make that call. All right, so as I was saying, because you know why, there are some things that you can't stop. You know, you start it goes deeper, it's deeper, and all of a sudden you will find the reason to say, oh, this person is the person for the job. My point is, can we start to do blind recruitments? Can we start from there, where I don't even want to know? You know the way they do this, the voice, that your back is turned. You're not seeing the person that is singing. You just hear the person. So the same thing, right? Where they let our credentials go forward. Do you understand? If at the end of the day, Norma, you throw the credentials forward and it is your person that eventually the credibility looks good and everything, and the person is picked, then it gives me some form of comfort that yes, we're ready. But as long as you're telling me that you want to hire someone because as long as the person is competent and all of that, it not go work that way. But let me take youngest old man.
Okay.
Youngest old man has called.
Good evening.
Hi.
Hi.
You see, I just want to be frank with you. You see, I think democracy is in the system for it to fight nepotism. In a situation where you'll be able to have one or two laws that will allow people to come in even they are not favored in your book, but because of the policy and the law guiding the country. Nepotism works mostly in the military era, where you get people that you can trust and their family or friends that will get your back, or how do you used to say it. But in this case today, we don't find ourselves executing the nepotism in democracy. And it's so open to the extent that even when you are doing the nepotism business, you bring people so incompetent that it's open, that this person is not in the job. That is why you see somebody that read agric being a bank manager. So all that kind of thing, it's so painful. And I come to see that the word of my professor that said that the people of today are suffering from emotional bankruptcy and a psychological holocaust. I come to believe with my prof on that, because that nepotism is so open that they don't even hide it. It's supposed to be timed and kind of you do it with a close concept. This time is so open. If you are not my brother, you don't do the same thing I do, you're not getting anything. So I hope we wake up to that. I understand that democracy is even here to fight nepotism, so that everybody can benefit, even if you don't have a direct connection with who is in turn or in power. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And where I even have that problem with the nepotism is that where I have the problem with that nepotism is that you are in a place where, you know, everybody, I mean, it's almost like you can never succeed if you do not belong to a particular group. Look, do you understand? In the movie industries, there, in all the industries, everybody. So I get it that you want to bring your tribe. I get it that you want to bring the people that are that you can trust to deliver the job. But there are still good people out there. There are still competent people out there. My point is, keep widening the net, because that way you get more people into that pool.
So here's what I wanted to say. When you talk about competence, it assumes that the person, for all intents and purposes, at the top of the nepotism triangle is competent. So, you know, when you say it, you are assuming that So I have now entered, I have arrived. Somehow I have been knighted, crowned, whatever you want to call it. I'm now in charge. You are assuming that I am competent enough to even identify the competent players to bring in. Let me tell you why I don't think that's the case. You see, some people are strategic, right? And this is where you start to measure the level of competence. I want to get to a destination. And I look at the future and I say, when I get to that destination, what am I going to need to succeed there? If success is truly your actual objective, you would have looked at that role and you would have said, you know what? One day, I want to be XYZ.
Would you hold that thought? Sorry. Somebody has been holding. Joseph, I believe from Kwara State. You're live.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening. Sorry for keeping you.
How is program today?
We thank the Lord.
Okay, I want to protest before I contribute to the program today. The earlier towards the ending of last week, I called. You guys refused to pick my call.
I'm very sorry.
It pains me a lot, but that one has gone already.
Sorry.
Yeah, very sorry.
What I'm protesting, but that one has gone. There's no cause for alarm. What I want to talk about is about nepotism.
Go ahead.
This nepotism is not about benefit alone. When you go to some institution, like me, I go to a Likman University, private institution. If you fight with maybe a Hausa man or a Fulani man, they will chase you away from school, no matter who you are. I'm the product of that school. I can say it anywhere. It happened. It happened to my friend. So my friend is the weakness. I can call my friend. I can even call my friend to even call your program tonight. To the extent that if you are not Hausa or Fulani, forget you are going. No matter who you are leaving that school.
Thank you.
So it's always odd when something like that is happening. Like a management supposed to call all students or a student that are involved in the matter, that what really happened, to question you what really happened, to confirm what happened, but they will not do that. Immediately they will just suspend. After suspension,
you're out of the school. Thank you.
You are going home.
Thank you, Joseph.
Well,
go ahead.
I mean, rather than die, let's go ahead. But so to quickly wrap up what I was saying, right? So you assume that there's competence. Now, here's why I don't think there's competence. Because like I said, if you're going somewhere and your plan to get there is to succeed, you do what everybody else does. You start to plan, you start to prepare. So you develop skills within yourself. And you know that, okay, when I get there, I need to build a team. You start finding the right people along the way. You start grooming them. So you teach them the same way you are developing your skills, the same way you're developing their skills.
Yeah.
And then as you're growing together, you are all sharing a vision and a plan. No, what happens is that the vision and the plan is to chop money. So when you reach, then of course, it's easy. Chopping money is not a skill. It's something you do. All of us come together. That is why we have the concept of national cake. Cut your slice, eat your own, and make room for the next person.
So what is this costing us as a people?
Everything.
You know, and because it's not serving us as it stands today, right? You know, what's...
Well, unfortunately, nepotism is not going to go away anytime soon. Because this is something that is ingrained in our people. It's a mindset that grew over time. Uti rightly said, when it was infused in the constitution, so that case of federal character, so to speak, and all of that. It's going to take a process to get people to pay attention to what should be topmost, which is about competence. If we're going to move forward, I love the analogy that she made when you said you have a vision. A lot of the people that we even have do not even know where they're going. They shall know they're going somewhere. They're not sure where they say what is the end goal, and they're dragging as many people that they feel comfortable with along. If we have more competent people who know, like I keep saying, it's nepotism. It's not bad in itself until it's more about just bringing in your people and less about competence. If we all had the opportunity to do something, right? We're going to start with people that we know, whether we like it or not.
Okay, Edward from Lagos. You're live. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi,
Good evening,
Edward.
ladies.
Hi, good evening.
Hello.
Thank you. I want to contribute to your discussion this evening.
Go ahead.
You're talking about nepotism. First of all, we need to understand what nepotism is all about. I think it is where somebody is in a position of influence, bring in his or her own relations, irrespective of whether they are competent or they are not competent. And it also leads to, taking for instance, you that is, moderating this program, you are an MD of a company, and a lot of people have applied for some jobs. You look at their CV, you know they can do this job, but you prefer your sister who just finished an O-level certificate and make her give her the position of that place they are looking for. Why are you doing all those things? Because you are looking for people that will cover your ass. You yourself is not competent. It leads to corruption. It runs down the company, and that's exactly what is killing Nigeria.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you. So it's costing us a lot, right? And that's why I say that there's no sugarcoating it. No. Nepotism has never been about considering competence. I just wanted to punch that thing very well, because it's not. If it's for competence, then we'll not even have that subject. We'll not even talk about it anymore. It has never been, and it will never be about competence. So how do we move forward from this? Make we start today. All right. Sorry. Hold on. Let me just take a quick call. Charles from Port Harcourt. You're live. Hello.
Good evening.
Hi, Charles. Good evening.
You guys are looking very lovely.
Thank you.
All right. Nepotism. I think I want to look at nepotism from this angle, in security aspects. Take for instance in this country, I think it's one of the ills of this Buhari administration. If you look at this government thoroughly, you discover that no president in any administration has showcased this level of nepotism in their government. Look at, for instance, we're having issue of insecurity in this country, and you're telling me that the security chiefs can only be found in one part of the country. And look at the way the country is today when it comes to asking something with security. You have the chief of army staff, the chief of whatever, custom, immigration, and all. All these things brings about unproductivity, the highest form of corruption. Take for instance, now if I'm an army officer and I discover that maybe I'm in a particular rank, maybe I'm a general, and I discover that maybe people ahead of me, they might be retiring very soon. Because I'm not from the north, I probably think maybe I don't have any chance of being the chief of army staff. These are the things that brings about bickering in the system, brings about murmuring, and thereby in general brings about unproductivity. It doesn't really help. It can never help. I think to me personally, if I want to describe it, I want to describe it as the highest form of corruption. It's not helping this country, and it's one of the problems that's benefiting this nation.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So thinking Nigeria first, because we have like just a few minutes to go. Think Nigeria first, because now when I listen to MK Abiola talking, he was saying that the conversation has never been about whether the person is a Yoruba or whatever. It has always been about who is competent for the job, and that's his own thought process. Our thinking has been skewed. We think Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, like that. So if we start to think Nigeria first, I'm sure we would kill all of these conversations around, nepotism or,
But guess what? Again, by the time you think Nigeria, which should be the situation actually, and there are people who are competent, unfortunately, they are from a particular part of Nigeria. It's also going to be seen as...
Hold on. Hassan, you're live. Hey, that's the power that I have. Hold that thought. Hassan, quickly, you're live from Edo State. Oh, shoot. Sorry, we can't take... Hello?
Hello?
Go ahead, please. You're live, quickly. think we lost the call. So we lost the call. So you were saying?
I said that, so this mindset, because sometimes when we say competent and then you're dealing with people who are competent, unfortunately, they are from a particular part of the country. You are still going to be seen as being nepotic because it seems like you're favoring a particular side of, but people will not see it that you are also, you know, employing or you're taking them on based on their competence level.
Oh God.
So let me just
Quickly, Uti, we don't have time.
A couple of things. So I think that this thing we're talking about, we were having a conversation a few days ago around the presidency and the fact that we all focus on that. And I come back to the public sector because that's where it's most rife in Nigeria. And it's also the place where we almost need the most change, to see the kind of change we want to see in Nigeria. It comes to how do we fix the problem? Because we're now saying, we can't, are we going to rise above it or we're going to find a way through it? Because it will always exist. Please, if the corporate sector can do it where we have everybody represented and it's based on competency and skill, people still need to keep their jobs, people still need to eat. Can we start to look for round holes and square places where we can fit people? So the concept for me is, do we start to assess people's competency? You're already in the public service today. Can we just assess you? There is plenty roles right across the public sector.
That fits your
Maybe we start moving
level.
you from here and putting you there and moving people around. So people are not losing their jobs. So from a perspective of the economic impact, it's not so harsh. Because we're looking for real solutions to this problem. Will it always exist? Will I come into power tomorrow and feel that I need some people around me who are my people, who I can trust and who even understand the way I work? It will always happen. But can we move past this? Because when we talk about the effectiveness of our leaders, they're not islands. They need all the people around them to work and understand how they think. So maybe we start to move people around and start to assess their capacity and put them in the right places.
All right. So we have a final caller, Robert from Abia State. You're live. Quickly, please.
Okay, good evening.
Hi.
Beautiful ladies in the house.
Hi, go ahead, please.
Okay, based on the topic you are discussing, if Nigerians can
Rise above nepotism, yes.
rise above nepotism, I think Nigeria can arise above nepotism if we should consider doing the right things at the right time, even if it means selecting somebody who is from a particular region or whatever. It's possible that those people can do well, and if they do well, I know Nigerians, I know the generation I belong to, who will appreciate the fact that those people are from a particular region and they are doing the thing. You cannot hide when things are going right.
Yes.
There's no way it can be hidden. It will be glaring to all of us that things are moving right and those people are the right people for this war.
Absolutely.
But when the things are not moving right and you keep insisting that let them be there, whether they get it right or they don't get it right, they are doing well. You see, there will be chaos in the society and there will be agitation and people will not be happy. Why don't you give other people opportunity to do something these people are doing and see if they can move the country forward?
Absolutely.
So
And I
my
totally
own
agree
opinion,
with you.
we can rise above nepotism, and I believe my generation can move forward and have a rethink
Thank you.
about all this
I think it just
nepotism
starts
or
from...
whatever.
Thank
and
you so
move
much,
on
Robert.
this country.
Thank you. I think it's about the mind, but let me quickly take a comment. Norma, you have one. Hi, guys. So I think that constitutional review could help. That's from Chisom. Thanks. It's... I think that if we start to think, because now I don't think across tribal lines. My thought process, that's how I was raised. I see you, I see a human being. I do not see, that's what I'm saying, it's just me. So if we start to have a collective that we're thinking like that, we're not thinking across lines. We're just thinking who is the best fit for this conversation. It's just like when we do the little schedules we do on the show here. The schedules are done based on the person's strength and competence to deliver on the topic. Do you understand? It is not about whether the person is my friend or not my friend. It is, can this person deliver on this topic? And the schedules are done. Do you understand? So that's how it's supposed to be, not about who is my friend, who I'm to be favoring, right? But that is a sad reality. But quickly, Norma, your comment, and I think we've run out of time.
Okay, so this is from Austin, from Delta. Says societal pressure encourages it. If your spouse recommends an unqualified in-law to run your company, do you go ahead to engage the person? If you don't, the home front becomes hot. So what do you do? You either choose bad manager to run your firm aground or face war at home. Think about it.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Thank you so much, ladies. It's a continuous conversation, even though we don't know it. But the truth is, I want to find that solution where we can work with it because it's not going anywhere.
I think, like, if I would just quickly put in this issue of tribe, if we can just delete it.
It's impossible.
If you delete tribe, then you put in religion. You're going to be putting, there's always something
So
to
as
replace
long
it.
as these
There's always
things
gonna be
continue to
something.
play a significant role, it's
Just stick
definitely
to
not going
merit,
anywhere.
competence. Those are things that can be checked.
Before we go, thank you, Norma. Thank you. Thank you, NJ. Ensure you follow us on Instagram, PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all our engagements on social media. Like, share, invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Thank you so much to all the people that called in. Now, if you missed today's quote, a little nepotism never hurts nobody, honey. If you got it, use it. Press on with it. Remind them of it. I like this quote. I don't know why. It's so sarcastic. See you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m.